Okay, the Ford YT16. As you can see, it's in the garage. It's time to do a few things to this machine. When I purchased this machine, the guy said fuel lines were done, tune-up was done, and it was ready to pretty much go for this coming season because I bought it at the end of last season. Yes, the tune-up was done, except for the oil change. He did everything except for the oil change. I don't know why he didn't do that. The blades all seem to be sharp. I believe this is a 3-blade deck. But one thing he did wrong when he did the fuel lines, he used the wrong type of fuel lines. Really, they are fuel rated lines, but in my opinion, these are definitely the wrong fuel lines. They got no play to them at all. They are very hard. So you see he also added a pumper ball right here, which seeps gas. Every time you go to use it to pump it, it seeps. So that's really, really not good. Under the hood, all safety switches have been bypassed, and this thing has a push button start. If you know me, you know what I feel about push button starts. Especially on functioning machines that you're using to cut grass, push button starts are no bueno in my book. Also, for some reason, when they did the starter, it does have a new starter, which is nice. They cut the shroud. So they gave themselves a fairly good hole to get to that starter. Clearly, they didn't want to have to remove the top of the shroud to do the starter. That kind of sucks, but I'm happy to see a new starter, but it kind of sucks having that cut. It's already using a full-size car battery. That battery is actually going to come out and actually have a 9-year-old Ford battery that's actually going in this machine. It came out of the Ranger. It's actually a genuine from the factory Ford battery. It's still good. This battery here is still fine as well, but I'm going to keep this thing Ford. Unfortunately, I do have a low back tire. I'm going to put some slime in that and fix it. All the other three are fine, but the wiring, I'm not sure what he necessarily did and what safety switch is malfunctioning. I'm assuming it's the clutch safety. So if it is the clutch safety, I will just bypass that and we'll go from there. But I would like the seat safety to work at least, especially so if you fall off the machine's going to shut itself off. So at the moment you can get up off this machine, it's just going to continue going on and on and on. So that's something I want to fix there. Mechanically, it's fine. It does run and drive fine. So I will be doing the oil change, and we'll pretty much go from there. But first thing I gotta do is I gotta drain the fuel and figure out what has to come apart to get to the fuel lines. Also, the deck will be coming off. There's a small hole right there in the front. Most likely I can just fix that with epoxy, which I'm hoping. Actually, probably similar to the RTV sealant, the glue style RTV will probably most likely fix that. I don't like it. It's going to end up getting worse. So I'm going to clean that up, paint it, and clean that up, put the epoxy on it, and paint it, and it should be good. Also, I want to give this deck a good once over anyways, to make sure everything else on it is working correctly. Like I said, I'm not going to touch the carburetor, not going to touch anything else on that aspect. This thing does charge, so I'm also going to be bringing over that other engine, the 18 horse Kohler Magnum, hooking it up to this one's wiring harness and seeing if there's the issue right there with the wiring harness on the other tractor, if that engine actually is in fact charging, and if it's something with the wiring harness. That will be a completely separate video. But here is the Ford YT16, finally in the garage, and getting some work done on it. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.